To all my OGs out there, welcome back to the next episode of Hey OG, Nice Kicks. In this episode, we're going to talk about some Louis. Oh yeah, okay, I'll stop saying it. We're going to talk about some Louis Vuitton sneakers and to collect. And one thing I was thinking before I get into talking about the story behind these sneakers is, why am I even doing a sneaker podcast? And it's really a simple story. During this pandemic, I found myself on YouTube watching all of these sneaker hype beasts, sneaker influencers on YouTube. And I even found myself watching a couple of YouTube channels where people are just coming in, buying and selling sneakers. And I'm like, why am I constantly sitting there watching people going in and buying and selling and bartering for sneakers? The pandemic really had an effect on me to the point where I'm that desperate for content that I'm actually watching people again walk in a store and buy and negotiate the price of sneakers. If any of you guys remember that Allen Iverson interview where he said, practice, we talking about practice? And I'm like, same thing for sneakers. I'm talking about sneakers? Well, yeah, why not? I paid for them. I wear them. I like them. So on this channel, this OG is going to talk about them. Kick the intro. The OG stands for old guy. Just an old guy talking that ish about their kicks. Raw and uncut. Keeping it 100 about these kicks I bought. The channel about the kicks and nothing but the kicks. Okay, let's do this. Okay, in this episode, I'm going to talk about a pair of Louis Vuitton kicks that I have in a collect. I'm going to talk about the Louis Vuitton Rivoli sneaker boot. Interesting story behind this sneaker. I used to spend my Mondays is my day off, and I have a 3-day weekend. My work schedule affords me the opportunity to have a 3-day weekend. I'm blessed for that. So I would spend my Mondays going to the malls with the high-end stores, the Gucci, the Louis Vuitton, and I'm walking around and I'm just looking. A lot of times, because I'm not paying that kind of money for those shoes, and a lot of times those shoes funny looking anyway to me. And designer shoes are nice, but for the money that they want to charge just to have a Louis Vuitton or a Gucci on a sneaker, I thought that was ridiculous at the time. And then my wife, one Christmas a few years ago, bought me a pair of Gucci shoes that I'll talk about in a future episode. I didn't talk about those yet, for Christmas. And then I said, okay, then I wore them a couple times. Nice. I said, okay, now I got the itch. I had the designer sneaker itch. Because before that, I was simply Jordan. Nothing but Jordan. Jordans. OGs, that's what we do. So, for this particular shoe, I would go into the Louis Vuitton store, and most of the Louis Vuitton sneakers I don't like. And I saw this one, I was like, these are different. I do like them. I didn't like the price. Pretty expensive shoe. But I went to that store at least 5 times before I said, okay, I'm gonna pull the trigger. Because I'm not an impulse buyer. I have to do some cost benefits analysis before I buy an expensive shoe. How much am I going to wear it? What do I have to wear it with? Do I have to buy other stuff to go with it to make it pop? So I'm doing a lot of analysis in my head as I'm walking. Because Mondays, in the mall on Mondays, it was pretty, wasn't crowded, pretty empty. So I had the time to kind of walk through. And of course, you're being hassled by the salespeople. Do you need something? Do you want something? And of course, in my case, in the Louis Vuitton store, regardless of all the gear I have on, the Gucci watch I have on, the expensive gear I have on, they still follow me around the store like I'm going to steal some Louis Vuitton stuff. But that's their problem, not mine. So with that stated, I'm walking around and I'm looking at these shoes, and I kept going and looking at them, and I kept going and looking at them. So then one Saturday, my wife and I were at the mall, and we went to the Louis Vuitton store, and she was out buying stuff. And I said, you know what? Now she made me want to buy something. So I said, I finally decided to pull the trigger on these. These shoes are not DS. I wore these once. And I wore them all day long because I wore them when I took one of my nephews out for his bachelor celebration. So I wore these out with my nephew. He was getting married. He's one of my favorite people in the world. He's a good kid. So him and I went out for his bachelor celebration before he got married. And I wore these shoes. That was the only time I wore these shoes. So they kind of have a special place for me because that was a special moment, hanging out with him, talking to him about his future and what he wants to do in his life and how he wants to take care of his wife and his 2 kids. He's a good kid. So with that stated, that's the only time I wore these. And when I did wear them, they're very comfortable. You can wear those with jeans. You can wear them with pretty much anything, sweats, jeans. But it's an expensive shoe, so you don't want to wear it too much because you don't want to mess it up. But also I'm an OG. I paid a lot of money for these. So I'm going to wear these joints. And so I'm looking forward to wearing these more as the pandemic, hopefully winds down and we get back out and can start, interacting with folks. But this is really a special shoe in my collection just for the reason I wore them at one time to celebrate a family member at a special time in his life. This shoe right here is light on your feet. The color, the pattern on it's nice. It kind of has, like when the light shines on it when you're outside, it kind of gives you get the darks or you get the lights. It's a real light, comfortable shoe. I mean, I wore it all day. I felt light on my feet. It really popped. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, but I look kind of fly that day for an old guy. I'm hanging out with a young cat. He about to get married and start his life. At that time, I was married 16 years, so I'm an OG. Been married a long time. Beautiful wife, beautiful family. Bless God for that. I'm blessed for that. God blessed me with that correction. Not bless God. God blessed me with that blessing. But again, the shoe is comfortable. Looking forward to wearing it more. Looks really, really good with jeans. The one thing about this, I'm thinking as I'm looking at it spin around, getting dizzy watching it go round and round, I'm probably going to have to get me a Louis Vuitton jacket to kind of match it. I'm not really a huge fan of designer gear because a lot of times they don't want us wearing it, but who cares? I think we need to do a better job probably starting our own brands and supporting our own brands. We have enough capital and influence in the world where we should start doing that. We need to start supporting our own brands. So if you have a sneaker brand or a clothing line that you want me to kind of talk about on this channel, send me add your information in the comments and I definitely will purchase if I like it. Now, first of all, I gotta like it. You can't sell me some crap and think I'm going to buy it just because, you're of the people. When I say of the people, that's a lot of folks that fall under that. But if you have something that, you're interested in selling, go into the comments and let me check it out. Because if I'm going to influence something or promote something on here, I want to promote the small guy, the small business, the person with their own shoe line, the person with their own clothing line. But with that said, I'm not mad at Louis Vuitton and Gucci and all those, historical brands that they've been doing it a long time and people really value what they put out. Even though I think their costs are really astronomical. Big word for the day, astronomical. Again, I'm from the bricks, don't claim to be the smartest person in the world. And I really don't care if you think I'm the smartest person in the world. But, because I'm really, how smart are you? You're sitting here talking about kicks. I told you all that my format, my niche on my channel is basically, I put the shoes up and I start talking about them. With that said, if you hung around to the point where you can now see them on feet, which is what I'm showing you now, how they look on feet, God bless you. Because there's really not a lot to say about these shoes, but I promised you all I'm going to keep it raw. I'm going to keep it, legit. I'm going to keep it authentic. So I'm just going to put the shoes up, talk about them, and whatever comes out of my mouth is what I'm going to put up. The one thing I can say about these shoes, they do hold sentimental value because I did wear them to take my nephew out to celebrate his upcoming nuptials. He's been married for a few years now, but this is how long I've had these sneakers, and that was the only time I really wore these sneakers. So outside of that story and the story of the folks at the Louis Vuitton store following me around, you know why. I don't need to get into all of that for the folks who have to go through that. Even though I'm walking in there with Gucci on and all my gear, they still felt the need to follow me around. So I just, said, since you're gonna follow me around, I might as well talk to you. When you follow me around in the store, I'm gonna have a conversation with you. We're gonna become buddies. Because I need you to become my buddy so the next time I come in here, you don't have to follow me around, because I don't have to steal anything from Louis Vuitton. There's nothing in here I cannot buy. I'm not bragging, but God has blessed me. So with that said, these are on feet. Thank you for hanging out, staying awake. Actually, as I was talking about these sneakers to you all, I was barely staying awake. I was trying to stay awake myself. So if you hung around to see these puppies on feet, here you go. Really comfortable, really nice. You can wear them with a variety of outfits and clothes, jeans. You can really hook them up for a lot of things. They're light on your feet, very, very comfortable, very light. The leather is clean. And if you did cop a pair of these, I don't think you would regret it. You probably can get them for cheaper than I paid, because I thought these designer sneakers retained value and were going to be valuable, but boy, was I wrong. Seems like unless you don't have Yeezys or Jordans, you're not really making money in the sneaker game, which is not what I'm trying to do. I just like to buy sneakers, and I like to have sneakers in my collection to wear. So thanks again for joining me during this episode of Hey OG, Nice Kicks. Peace.